What's up, gamers, and welcome to my 2023 recap of everything that's happened this year as far as me, content, YouTube, the Glue Crew, absolutely everything. Now, you're going to have to forgive me here. You know, I am better at shooting from the hip than I am at reading from scripts, but I do have some bullets here to go through and go over just more or less where we started, where we are now, and what is going to happen in the future of 2024. So, without further ado, make sure you guys let me know in the comments where you showed up in this story. If you remember the first video that you watched of mine, or any time whatsoever that I was able to provide you with information you were looking for, things you needed, things of that nature, make sure you leave it down in the comments. And please like this video to help me get it out a little bit more. And if you're not subscribed, become part of the Glue Crew today by hitting that subscribe button. Let's get into it. All right, so I remember this very first video here, healing build versus the Black Widow on Grounded. I struggled a lot with this. This was actually a live stream that I re-uploaded, and it was my very first time fighting the Black Widow boss in Grounded, and yeah, I struggled a lot, but this was one of the very first ones I posted. All this other stuff, everything I did up to this point, up to 2,000 subscribers, was Minecraft stuff. You know, you can go down through here, and it's just an array, a mess of me trying a podcast platform, me just doing like faceless Minecraft tutorials and things of that nature. Nothing really crazy up to this point. This is when I really locked in, when actually around the point of this removing lag video. So a lot of you guys know that back a year ago, this was before 1.0 came out, or maybe actually no, it's right after it. The ants were collecting a lot of food, and I had found a way to fix it. I don't remember if I seen somebody else's video that had an idea how to fix it or whatever, but I remember that I found a way to fix it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a video about this. This is the very first video I ever had that did well, like the very first one. And more or less it was just a tutorial type thing to show people how to prevent the ants from hoarding the food and making the game lag really bad. It was a really bad time for Grounded right here in this moment. But they fixed that not too long later. But the next video that I had that did really well, and this kind of got me addicted to YouTube, honestly, because these were kind of very far and few between at the time. They didn't have very many views. Now this one's got this 10 tips video's got 10K, and everything you need to know about the picnic table 8.3K. But these weren't nothing at the time. This one right here, should I plug the haze? Pros and cons. This was kind of an experiment with clickbait type of thing, right? Before you plug the haze, watch this video. Shot up to like 2,000 views in the first day. It's at 26,000 right now. Obviously, it's a year old, and it's also pretty irrelevant. A lot of the videos I've made have become irrelevant over time with updates and things like that. But yeah, this was the first one that got me addicted. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I can do this. Start pumping out as much absolute content as I possibly can. So I started coming up with ideas, 6 badge trinkets, stuff like that, and how to get Brop Burst. And then I experimented with this idea, which was the first time I ever downloaded the Unreal editor thing, where you can kind of tear the game apart and play with all the different weird commands and stuff. I know people like Paralyzer and Mutter Chutters and them mess around with that a lot, but it was more or less trying to find the best weapon for the best creature. It did not catch on. Obviously, a year later, they've got a few views, but at the time it was like 20, 30. It was nothing. So I was like, all right, what's the next thing? And it wasn't until the end of December. Watch the beginning of this. It literally speaks for itself. This is the very first mega base, mega build video ever.
Tired of investing so much.
We'll skip through this ad real quick. All right, here we go. Listen to this. Turn this up.
Yo, what's up, gamers? How we doing today, man? So I just decided that I'm sitting here playing Grounded. I might as well try and post a just regular gameplay of my WoW mode playthrough while I'm here, just kind of burning some time. So I figured
just that right there, dude. I decided that I was just going to record myself playing for a half hour and upload it and call it my mega build series. Okay. I didn't know that this was going to be such a thing, right? We continued this on all the way up till like episode 80, where I have like just an insane amount of monstrous stuff. We've met a lot of awesome people through this time frame. This, like I said, this is the end of December. So I'm going to try and keep with the timeline here essentially, but yeah, this video right here is responsible for defining everything I ever did with grounded mega builds, and it all started right here, and it just kind of took off from there. At the time, I think I was still streaming on Twitch, and I had a ton of people coming over from YouTube. Hey, I watched your videos. Hey, your videos are awesome. I love your videos, this and that, and just talk about just making a person glow. You know what I mean? This was like 2,200 subs. And, at the end of December, I'm at like 2,400. Oh my God, I gained 200 subs in a month. This is crazy. Things were really tracking. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So then all right, so here we go. So this was the first one. This is how to remove blur. Back then they've since added it to the game. I believe that you can remove the whole crazy depth of field blur thing. That was just super annoying. But kind of continued the mega build thing a little bit, did some tutorial stuff, really trying to grab onto everything. This video ended up doing really well over time. Pretty much how to upgrade your weapons and stuff with whetstones. Just a bunch of hodgepodge, different, reviewing your base locations. I had a base build video. Best base locations right here was my personal preference for best base locations. And I made sure in the video to have people comment what their best base locations were, which led to this video here. And I believe this is in January timeframe now at this point. So yeah, I was reviewing people's base locations. This one ended up getting 36K views. Lots of negative comments on that video. All these base locations suck, blah, 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 blah. Over the course of the year, really never had too many negative Nancys in the comments, you know what I mean? But anymore, dude, it's like at one point in my YouTube journey, I want to make absolutely everybody happy. But it wasn't, and for a couple months when I was just like, at that point, I was like, okay, there's going to be some psychos. There's going to be some weirdos. Let's just get rid of them so I don't even have to look at them anymore. So I would always reply with some absolutely off the wall, silly comment like, I don't even know off the top of my head, but regardless, I would always do that. But so around the Mega Build Chapter 4, I kind of started to get bored with the game. I was still getting really good views. How I get max carry weight capacity, 11K views. I was still getting good views. We got the leak for the koi fish chairs and pine cone defense things and all that kind of stuff back then. Everybody was super stoked about that, but I was starting to get bored with the game. I was like, all right, I have made up to this point like 40 grounded videos, and I was just like, I don't want to do it anymore. So I started like, okay, am I a one-hit wonder? Am I the grounded guy, and that is my destiny for the rest of forever? So I decided to try and make some Icarus videos. I love Icarus. Icarus is a great survival game. And it was at this point I decided I don't want to be the grounded survival guy. I want to be the survival gaming guy, period. All survival games, crafting, building, mega builds, all that good stuff. That's where I wanted to live at. I didn't want to live on one specific game because I knew eventually that game would either fall in popularity or I would just get extremely bored with it. So I started realizing at this point that I was going to start mixing some stuff. And unfortunately, especially even now to this day, this one has 150, 170 views, absolutely nothing at the time, maybe like 10 or 15 views at the time. And like I said, this is a year ago, so videos do get more views over time, but barely. But so tried some Icarus, wasn't a huge fan of the outcome of it. So I continued on with the mega builds, throwing in some tips and tricks videos here and there. And, episode 9 right here, 8 and 9. Still, man, I'm forcing myself to play the game at this point. I wasn't really having a whole lot of fun. And so I started, adding in some more survival games. Frozen Flame here was a super fun game. Once again, not many views. Essentially, this is a battle back and forth of getting good views with Grounded and, you know, adding in some other games, and they didn't show any success. 7 Days to Die, same thing. And so I was like, you know what? How about I start one of these no death hardcore playthroughs? Okay. Now, at the time, this one has 2K views now, but at the time, I did 1 episode, 2 episode, 3, 4. I did 4 episodes of this no death thing, and not any of them had over 50 views. And I was like, dang, dude, I really thought people were going to like this whole, you know, suspense of me potentially dying type of thing. Didn't work, didn't catch on. Anyway, we move on to the next bit, chapter 10, 11, 12. Mega builds, 13 mega builds. I'm running out of ideas. You can tell as far as like searchable content, like tips and tricks, how to get this, how to go there, how to do that. So I just start pumping out mega builds one after another with, you know, I would always do the mega build videos with like comment down below, potato, if you watch the video up to this point, stuff like that. So a lot of these videos, you can go back and look at the comments, and there's just like one random word from everybody in there. And it's a pretty fun, unique thing that I did. Started building a water tower thing that ended up being one of the most controversial builds that I ever did in the game. Why would you do that with the water if you could just make a water collector? God, man, the lack of creativity in the world is crazy. Let's see here. So we get to Raft. I start working on a mega build for Raft. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Raft. But you know, once again, at the time, community wasn't too sure about other games, so we had to literally keep pumping out grounded content. And at this point, I was super bored. Like chapter 18, I was just making a video, uploading it, and then never playing grounded again for the rest of the day. At the beginning of this whole thing, I was playing grounded for 24 hours a day. I would love the shit out of it, and I think that's the reason I got so burnt out so fast, the amount of time I played off stream, off video. I mean, I have like 1,483 hours in it, right? Like there's a lot of hours in the game. A lot, man. I put a lot of time into that. So we started venturing into more other games here. Star Sand. I really liked this one. It's got a decent amount of views, probably because there's not very many videos about Star Sand, and this was actually a game review video as well. So, you know, did a lot of things here and there. Just I started doing some VR stuff. I had gotten the Oculus. And I actually had the Oculus for a while, but at this point in time, I started messing around with it more, and I found some cool games, and I just decided to share those as well. And here you can see this one titled "I'm Exhausted," chapter 26 mega builds. I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, dude, it is so hard to keep going. I've been doing this now at this point for like 3 months straight every day. And you know, like I need something else to catch on. So this here, Aloft, we're like now in February timeframe, I think, somewhere around there. This was the first time I ever had a developer reach out to me and say, hey, can you play my game? Can you make a video on my game? Absolutely. Totally. So I decided to take a different approach right here. Super clickbait, better than Grounded. Aloft, the Grounded Killer, a new survival game. Obviously, I knew it wasn't the Grounded Killer, but you know, that got people interested, got people watching, and this was one of my first few videos of another game outside of Grounded that actually did decent. It did pretty well, and I need to actually go revisit this game and see how it is. It's been a long time since I played it, and I'm wondering kind of where they're at now with it. All right, next we're going on to one of the most important and huge parts of my entire journey here, especially with Grounded, was my first Obsidian dev stream. I got invited to by Eric from Obsidian to more or less show off my world on their weekly live stream, and this was a huge accomplishment for me. This was the reveal of it, letting everybody know when the day was. I don't believe it actually ended up happening until I'm not sure when it ended up actually happening, but this was my announcement for it. February 22nd, apparently, is when it's supposed to happen. This was also my, like I said, extremely controversial water tower that I had built that everybody was just like, why would you do something like that? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. We also did some speed runs in here as well, I think. So when Obsidian toured my base, you know, I had the pyramid done. This was the part where I had the wall and the pyramid and a little bit of the flooring, pebblet flooring done and all that stuff. So they had quite a bit to look at. It wasn't as impressive as it got later, but this is kind of where the whole lumber mill crane build really started. And it went insane, dude. Like, this was another huge growth part of everything. And we also started base tours around the same time, which were a huge hit. Honestly, we checked out other people's bases. Everybody seemed to like that, gathering ideas and stuff from other people and other creators. And, you know, here we are still, you know, 4 months later, we're still doing grounded stuff because I am just stuck on this game. Like, don't get me wrong, I love grounded, and grounded is extremely responsible for my growth this year. But just unfair internet, man. Like, the internet is so unfair when it comes to creating content that you know, you put yourself in this situation. You get a grind going, you get a game that people like watching you play, blah blah blah. You keep going, you got 10,000 people that love watching your videos, and you post a different game, and then they all hate that game. And it's like, well, it's the same game, it just looks a little different. You still craft, you still build, you still do all this. I don't know, at the end of the day, you know, I went through a lot of ups and downs this year, but ultimately, like, this was a big moment here. The release of Sons of the Forest, and the reason I will show you that this was a big moment here is, let's see here. This video right here was a TikTok I made. It was a TikTok I made, and it was the very first virally type video I made. I still remember my phone every 2 seconds, 1.5 million views. And here's the stupid thing about shorts. This video is just like, it just doesn't mean anything, right? I uploaded this short about 10 minutes after Sons of the Forest came out. I'll show it to you real quick. It's literally nothing.
Oh, get that out of there. Is there something else?
It's just me walking around.
Doesn't look like it. Just kind of smack things around. Is this
and
ice?
It got 1.5 million views, 55,000 likes, 520 comments, 1,100 shares. But it just didn't make sense because it was just me walking around on a sheet of ice. I don't know why, but really cool situation regardless. I actually had another one pretty close to this one, 302,000 views. Same thing. Just, you know, things happen for no rhyme or reason when it comes to short form content. But you can see here over the months, we got into more mega build type things and started building the ship and getting pretty bored here. The release of Smallands happened, so I started doing a Smallands playthrough. And then this is a moment in time here. You can see my thumbnails kind of changed quite a bit right here. The day before this thumbnail, I sat down and had a full-blown conversation with imcade, which, if you don't know who imcade is, he is an extremely successful, very, very good content creator. And I sat down with him for about an hour and just talked and plucked his brain. And, you know, he was extremely nice with sharing everything that he shared that he's learned on his journey of content creation. So I took everything that he taught me and I tried to implement all of it. And unfortunately, this is how funny it is. Like, if you were to copy the way other people do their stuff, or you, like, you know, you make a video about, you know, how to paint your nails, and you look up how to paint your nails and you see the one with the most views and you try and make a thumbnail that looks like that one. Just because it worked for somebody else doesn't mean it's going to work for you. He has a very interesting way of doing his content, and it doesn't matter what video he plays or what game he plays, it's always going to be successful because he is who he is, and he's just awesome like that. So you can see here, I tried to take some of his advice and, you know, made all these like pretty interesting cartoony looking thumbnails with a lot more blues and greens and things like that. But unfortunately, some of these do have decent views, but, you know, it wasn't working for me. It wasn't who I was. And so I decided to move on. Now you can start to see here that I'm starting to get a little bit more cohesiveness with my thumbnails, which was always something I wanted to figure out how to do. I needed something that, you know, let people know right away that's Seethrew's thing. So wasn't a huge fan of the way all these turned out, but we got to a point here where this is the time frame for the biggest stream the biggest videos, the biggest everything. This week, this week essentially changed everything. Grounded 1.2.2 when the infected broodmother got released. This was a absolutely huge thing for Grounded. It was a huge thing for all the content creators. Everybody benefited from this. And it was just all around a great addition to the game. Adding some next to impossible raid boss type of thing. It really went nutty. And my stream, this was the stream that now holds the record for forever for me. Peak viewers, 474 people watching me at one time. I couldn't imagine packing 100 people in my living room here behind me watching me play games, and then multiply that and get 474 people watching me at once. Dude, I was on cloud 9. I was in love with that. Now, sadly, you know, if I'm to grow as a creator, I don't want to grow virally. Virality has its huge ups and huge downs. I would much rather grow progressively over time, build a community, get people in the glue crew and all this kind of stuff over time. And this was a time where I got extremely lucky. And unfortunately, I didn't take full advantage of this. As you can see, literally a week later, let's see here. So this one got 41,000 views. This one got 27,000. This is also when we started Project Sanctuary, which was a really cool themed storyline driven build that we worked on. It was kind of the first time I did something like that. I really enjoyed the way my thumbnails looked here. I really kind of worked hard, got a little bit better at photo mode, and focused really on, like, see how Willow's like mega huge on this thumbnail. But you can see here, I've got this one titled The Portal, and this one also, I went into a secret portal and grounded because it was time for me to get away. I had accepted the fact that I had made, 300 grounded videos at this point, and I am burnt out. I did not care that I had just had a 500 viewer stream and, all these huge hype videos that I had made about the broodmother. Once I was done with the broodmother and I did everything that I could absolutely do and building this city and stuff like that, I was dead. I was like, I can't anymore. So what's a cool way for me to try and transition to other games? So I decided to build a portal in Grounded, which wasn't a portal. Obviously, it was just a doorway, but it was a doorway I had motion tracked and cropped out to make it seem as if I'm teleporting to other games that I want to play. So I jumped out of the sky, fell in the water. As soon as I hit the water, we're in Subnautica. Same thing happened when I did the raft transition as well. And kind of did multiple things like that to try and, get my grounded viewers to watch the video. And then if I jump through the portal, essentially, I'd be in a different game and, just get their feelings and thoughts from that. You can also see that I went and switched up with a different thumbnail idea here. I started using AI generated images for a lot of this stuff to really just try and, grab people's attention. Wasn't very successful at all. Very rarely nowadays do I use, AI generated stuff. It just never seemed to work out as well as I had hoped so. Also in this time frame, and something I forgot to talk about in the beginning of the video, like I said, I'm going to forget a few things here and there. First off, absolutely none of this would even be remotely possible if it wasn't for my mod team. Shout out to the freaking mods that keep my chats rolling and my ideas coming. Those guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Huge shout out to them. I wouldn't be able to do it without them, man. They essentially work for me for free, but apparently they enjoy some part of it, or they're in it for the long run. But yeah, absolutely amazing team, and I wouldn't be able to do it without them. So another thing that happened in this time frame was I had signed up in a contract situation with a team of people that host charity streams, and we have been running a charity now. We're about to run our fourth one come January. When is it here? January 24th, I believe. We're going to be comparing it with the launch of Enshrouded, and it's going to be a lot of fun, but we'll talk more about that later. But either way, we have raised a grand total of $5,160 for charity for mental health and suicide prevention. So clap, 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 clap. Super cool. Great accomplishment for this whole entire year. And I look forward to doing more of that later on down the road. So about 6 months ago, what is this, like June, July time frame, I was getting extremely confused with what I wanted to do. I've always been a huge fan of Blizzard games, Blizzard all the time. I've loved them. So Diablo 4 came out. I decided to make a Diablo 4 video. So this right here, obviously some of the coolest looking thumbnails I think I've ever made, but Diablo 4, 14,000 views, first video. I was like, oh my God, I'm not just a grounded guy. I'm a YouTuber. Yay, I'm a YouTuber now. I've grown up. At this point, I've got like 7,000 subs, I think. I think 7,000 is about right. So we got up to about 7,000 subs with grounded and started making Diablo stuff. Made a lot of Diablo stuff, honestly, for pretty much about a month and a half. Still messed around with some other stuff. Give me a reason to stay. I'm giving up. Oh my God. Yikes. What's that about? I have no idea. More clickbait, probably. Could be announcement for a. I do pretty ridiculous things for my thumbnails and titles for charity streams to get some attention, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so up to this point, let's see here. Where's it at? Huge nerf for sorcerers right here. I was having so much fun making Diablo content, and then the character that I put 1,000 hours into, they completely trashed it, completely ruined it. My character was unplayable. I couldn't even go out and get new gear for a new build. So I was like, crap, now what? So I decided to go back to my roots, try and make some more grounded videos. And yeah, it didn't work too well for me, to be honest. But this is the time here when Sunken Land got released that I really started having fun again. My first impression video for Sunken Land did pretty well, considering it got equivalent views for my grounded videos, but that made me happy. I was like, sweet, okay, cool. Started streaming it, some of the best streams I had in a long time. We ended up getting up to the 100 viewer area, 100 concurrent viewer area with this game. It was a blast. And then Starfield came out, and that game was a complete flop, in my opinion. But, Sunken Land did really well for me. And that also, what Sunken Land did is it grabbed that PC survival gamer audience and mashed it with my already existing majority Xbox audience. That was the big reason I found out why none of my other videos were getting views, is because everyone that follows me is an Xbox player and nobody has access to any of these games. So Sunken Land really broke down that barrier for me. It broke down that wall. It got me, a lot more popular on the PC survival gamer side of things. In this scenario, I took a lot of inspiration from Game Edge and Cage848. Some of you guys probably know who they are. I started taking some inspiration from them. And essentially, I kind of, took some pieces and parts from things that other people were being successful with, and I just kind of mashed it into my own thing. And that was where we started hitting Sunken Land. And we also started mixing in Subsistence. There was another game called Wild Strive. Start Over started happening. We just started kind of playing with all these different survival games. And this is when things really started getting good, dude. When Sunken Land happened, I think we went up like 1,000 subs a month, 1,500 subs a month. When we were playing Sunken Land, Subsistence, Start Over, Sengoku Dynasty, all these videos did pretty good. And this is kind of the train I've been following ever since. Now, at one point here, okay, so The Front came out. The Front is another one, kind of like Sunken Land, that, it was a PC only survival game. I grabbed a hold of that audience and just ran with it. The Sunken Land people followed me over, and they all played it too, ran with this one. And then this is when everything went to shit. And yes, bad word, but this is when things went downhill. Around this time frame, about I don't know, 3 weeks before Grounded Playgrounds was released, me and 20 other creators got access to the play. This is the first time Obsidian's ever done an NDA type of thing or gotten creators involved in stuff that isn't out yet type of thing. I was stoked for this. This is a completely custom, build your own awesome stuff with switches and levers and redstone-esque type things, and I was a huge fan of redstone in Minecraft, so this really interested me a lot. But look at this. 200 views, 200 views, 500 views, 200 views. I was so mad at this point that I was so stoked and excited about this, and nobody else was. I put hundreds of hours into some of these playgrounds, and I was trying so hard to produce something, and I never got it to work. At this point, I was doing this World of Weirdos, like a World of Warcraft recreation through the grounded, playground space. And I was sinking so much time into it, and it never mattered. Every time I thought it was working right, it never ended up working right. And I had just way too many working parts. I was trying to create things nobody else was creating by, getting weird with things. And it just consumed me. It literally consumed me. So I was like, at this point, I'm like, no, I'm done with Grounded. I'm 100% done with Grounded. All the friends I thought I had in the Grounded community just didn't seem like friends ever in this entire moment. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with it. I uninstalled it completely. So I'll never be playing that game again, more than likely. But it was a fun ride. I enjoyed it, but unfortunately, everybody that watches Grounded obviously has seen my Grounded videos, and apparently they didn't want to watch them anymore. So I decided that it's time to do me and have fun and grab onto this whole PC survival gaming audience. And essentially that's what I've done up to this point. Even with the Lego Fortnite thing, we've had some really good videos produced from that. That game's still a lot lacking right now, but look forward to seeing what they do in the future for sure. 33,000, 14,000, 40,000. So things are going great. And now it's been 5 days since my last upload. Obviously the holidays, having the son home and the wife home, and it just makes making content a little bit harder, but luckily I locked them both up so I could make this video. But yeah, so that brings us to my plans for the future here. So I've got this all written down so I don't forget anything. The biggest thing that's happened, and it's already happened for 2024, is I have switched back to Twitch. As far as live streams go, I'm still going to be posting my daily YouTube videos. But the problem and the reason being is, number one reason is, back when we had that viral moment with Grounded, with the infected broodmother, things were going really well. 400 viewers, blah, blah, blah. It went down to 100. And then, over the course of a week, we were back to like the 70 to 80 range, which is still fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But from that time frame to this time frame, we went from 70 average to like 20 average. And I was like, okay, we haven't gained one daily live streams, mind you, over 6 months. We haven't gained one subscriber from a live stream, period. So obviously I'm not getting any sort of reach with my live streams, not getting any sort of growth. And I'm also suffering because YouTube does not have the functionality, integration, like crazy stuff that I want to do. You can't do it in a YouTube live stream. So essentially I was like, you know what? It's time for a change. So switch to Twitch. Got about 50 or 80 people that have followed me over there that are in the streams now every night. So that's super cool. Another big reason I switched to Twitch is sponsorship opportunities. For some reason, people and websites and things like that don't base anything off of YouTube live streams, only Twitch live streams and YouTube views on normal videos. So I was like, you know what? We'll switch back over there. Maybe I'll get some good sponsorship opportunities. Maybe this year will be absolutely insane. We're going to try and manifest as much as we can for 2024. And also another benefit to this is YouTube live streams aren't going to be interrupting my regularly scheduled video notifications, right? So essentially, if you had a notification bell on, you were getting a notification for my uploads and my live streams. If you didn't like my live streams, you probably turn the notifications off, so now you're not getting notified for my other videos, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that's another reason for sure, is notification purposes there. And essentially Twitch viewers are more interested in watching and lurking or whatever on the game. So, I just think it's going to be better overall, and we're going to grow over the course of time, hopefully. And we're going to try and make a push for partner. 75 average viewers, or 70 average viewers, I think is what it is, over the course of a month. I don't know. We'll get there, I think. It's going to be a great year for sure. So the charity event upcoming 24th of January. It's paired, like I said, with the launch of Enshrouded. It's going to be a banger game. It's going to be huge. We're going to have tons of content for that game. Also following that up, February, Nightingale's release. I've already played it behind the scenes, and it's freaking amazing. Oh my god, it's gonna blow you guys' mind. I can't wait till I can talk about it a little bit more. I'm also gonna switch my main focus from Let's Play content more towards top 10s, tips and tricks, thoughts, after game, stuff that would be a little bit more beneficial for searchable content. So, things people would type into search, like how to do this, how to do that, how to get these, where to go for this. Things a little bit more targeted towards searchable content, because I think that's really the key to growth. Let's Plays are awesome. A lot of people like them, but just not a ton of people like them. So start moving forward with that here in the next week, I think. I'm going to start playing on our Rust PvE server that Triple Bud has put together for us. He's kind of our server guy at the moment. Volunteer. Yeah, absolutely. He volunteered for this. If he's watching this, you volunteered for this. But he set up and established an entire modded PvE Rust server. So if you play Rust and you want to get involved in the community that's not going to be toxic and will not tolerate toxicity at all, then you should jump in the Discord and figure out and join us, and we'll have some fun and things of that nature. Also, another big thing I want to do, and this is going to be huge, and if you're excited about this, let me know in the comments. Saturdays will be community day on the live streams. It's been something we haven't done for a very long time. Had a lot of people break my tiny little heart over the years and made me not want to do any sort of community games and stuff like that. But Saturdays, we're going to do community games. So any sort of community designated stuff, like, I don't know, Fall Guys, marbles, or, whatever, Among Us, or whatever we do. Saturdays will be the day for that. Or it will also be a sabotage stream. Either or. It'll be a community game, or it'll be a sabotage game. Like 7 Days to Die, you spawn a bunch of zombies on me type of sabotage type stuff. But Sundays are going to be a behind the scenes, how I make content type of stream. So it'll be 3 hours of me just doing my normal everyday stuff, showing people how to do things. If anybody has any questions for creators or anything along those lines. We're closing up, I promise. We're bringing Streamloots back. Streamloots is crazy. And what I have recently found out is I am going to be able to. I'm doing something absolutely crazy here. We started something called a hero deck. So we're actually building an actual card game out of Streamloots now. And there's going to be all kinds of heroes that you can use to attack monsters that are going to be appearing randomly on my screen. So yeah, Streamloots is going to make a big comeback to the stream for sure. I think a lot of people are excited about that. And yeah, other than that, man, we're just going to be along for the ride, enjoying 2024. I'm not going nowhere. We're going to keep doing this for the rest of forever until I get old, wrinkly, or die of, overweightness or gum disease or something like that. I don't know. Figure it out. Either way, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for an awesome year. Thank you so much to the Glue crew for watching all my videos. Thank you, moderators, for really kicking butt and keeping everything nice and safe. And thank you all for donations for charity streams, liking all the videos and sharing them all and talking to me in Discord. It's been a pretty up and down kind of year. I've been through a lot of emotional, mental, crazy things, and I wouldn't have been able to make it if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you very much. And here's 2024, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.